Hey y'all, and welcome back to Allison's Corner. Of course, I am your host, Allison, and we just need to take a very quick minute, just a quick one, and let it sink in that we are now in season 7 because my mind is blown and it's just wild. I really just want to say thank you to everyone for just being here because whether you've been rocking with me from the very beginning or you just happen to stumble into our little corner for the first time, you're exactly where you're supposed to be, where you need to be. And it just fills my heart up to know that we're in season 7. And 7 being a lucky number. Listen, I have big hopes and dreams for this season. They are gonna come into fruition. Yes, this is also the second half of the year, so second half of 2025. So whatever we didn't accomplish in the first half, listen, you and me, we're right here cuz it's a lot, but we're going to do it. We're going to make sure whatever we put our mind to that we're going to accomplish as soon as December 31st hits. And here at Allison's Corner, we're going to do the same thing. So, come on. Anyway, today's episode is we're just vibing. It's a really quick, laid back, we're just checking in, just letting you know what I've been up to lately since we have been on hiatus. Just, as usual, we take a break in between our seasons. And we're just talking about what's new with me, how the podcast is going to be evolving, and what's going on with the book club, our YouTube, how I'm writing on Substack. And how that's been unlocking a very new side of me. Plus, how I've actually been living outside of the digital world. You haven't seen me post as much, both on Allison's Corner Pod, our Instagram, as well as on the book club Instagram for a specific reason. And yeah, we're just going to get into all of that. So come along, have your drink ready, and let's go. So let's start with life lately, okay? Because if I'm being honest, I really needed a reset. The last few months we've just been really quiet, and I've been intentionally quiet because I really wanted to reflect, I wanted to reconnect, and I've been realizing what I've outgrown. And I know that's been a theme that I've really been talking about a lot on the podcast, especially this year, because I feel like it's just been very pivotal in my life right now. And I've been in this place where I just don't want to go through the motions of things anymore. That I really want my work and my life to feel aligned in what my purpose is. So I've been spending a lot more time offline. I've been laughing and hanging out with my friends. It's summer, so we're soaking in all that good summer energy. And we just been sitting still, breathing, and just doing all the things. I have also been saying yes more to a lot more spontaneous hangouts. And honestly, it's been very, very good for my soul. I am a homebody by nature, and my friends, they can definitely attest to that. However, I don't know. I just feel like summer is officially here, and I'm going to take advantage of all the long days we have to actually do something outside of work. After 5 o'clock hits, I'm going out and I'm having fun. And I think that's important. Um, Beyonce will be in town in July here in Atlanta for 4 nights, and I might see her. I can't promise yet because listen, if I'm in the building, y'all will definitely know. But right now, me and my sister we're still debating tickets. I need a costume ASAP, and I don't know, y'all. It's just a lot. Beyonce, I'll see you, girl. I'm gonna make sure I'm there, but we're just getting it together on our end. And I also just went to a FIFA World Club match. That was so fun. I don't know if any of you know this, but I played soccer in high school. My dad, he is a huge soccer fan, and I love Atlanta United. Atlanta United is our Major League Soccer team here in Atlanta. I go to games all the time, me and my brother, but this was my first FIFA game, and it was pretty cool. And I was really excited because Atlanta is also going to be one of the host cities for the World Cup next year. So right now, listen, after that game, I'm saving my money like right now because I have to get a ticket. I have to get a ticket early. I have to go, especially knowing it's going to be here. But overall, I've just been doing more things that bring me joy. There's no pressure to post. There's no pressure to be online. I've just been doing me. And from that space, I started looking at the podcast and everything connected to it. And I started to think, okay, it is time to shift a couple things. So, Allison's Corner is entering a new chapter. Of course, as we said, it is season 7, and we're trying to sound a little bit different, not just in content, but also in energy. Personally, I am over the hustle and grind, and I'm really trying to move away from content hustle. And I really want to lean more into conversations that are deep and nourishing and fulfilling, both for myself as well as for y'all being listeners. And we're gonna, of course, have a little bit more solo episodes. I notice you guys tend to like those a lot more than I actually thought you would. You prefer hearing my side of things, and I appreciate that. So we're gonna have a little bit more solo episodes this season, just where I'm processing out loud, just what I've been going through, what y'all have been going through. Definitely more reflective topics. And as usual, we're going to have our special guests. And those guests that are going to be on the podcast are guests that I feel that are aligned with where I am in life right now. And I think of this season as a journal entry that you get to hear because it's coming from a space of honesty and not from perfection. And I'm giving our corner of the internet, this space, this podcast, a place where you can pause and feel, and you don't have to do it with the rush of life. And with that, I want to lean more into our book club because, as you know, Allison and Friends Book Club, yes, it is still happening. And y'all have been showing up so beautifully in that space. So I want to say thank you once again. I love that it's not just about reading books, but it's about seeing ourselves differently through them. And with this season, of course, we're going to go a little bit bigger. I'm working on expanding our YouTube content so that we're not just reading, but we're discussing. So we do have a YouTube for our book club. And I want you to expect, mid book reflections, maybe some deep dives with our themes for that month, and maybe even some live chats or just some cozy sit down videos because I really want the book club to feel like you're hanging out with your bookish friend, the one who's always like, so how did that chapter make you feel? I want you to feel like that. I want it to feel like home. And because life will always be lifing, I understand that. And I really want to incorporate shorter reads, also audio summaries. I think that's something that we are definitely looking into doing. And just overall meeting ourselves where we are. So be on the lookout for that. Now we're going to get into my writing journey because I launched the newsletter on Substack, and it was really to be something that corresponded with the podcast. And as the newsletter started to gain momentum, I noticed that we started to kind of shift away from it corresponding with the podcast and really making it a creative outlet for myself. Because writing is probably the most freeing thing that I've done in a really long time outside of this podcast. It's way more stripped down. I feel like the newsletter overall has no filter. It's just me and my words. And some days it's poetry, some days it's a long open letter about whatever I'm experiencing at that time. But every post feels like I'm letting you get a peek into my journal, but in the best way. And honestly, writing on Substack, it reminded me that I am a writer. I think that part of myself I had forgotten for such a long time. And not just on social media, not just through captions, but through full lived experiences and thoughts. So, as far as all of that is concerned, if you are craving something a little more softer, a little more slower, a little more let's figure this whole thing out together. The Substack is where I've been pouring that energy, and I would love for you guys to read some of my posts. So, as I've said, one thing that I promised myself this year, and especially with us moving into season 7, is to just live life more offline. And of course, I've been doing that, but I've also been having really quiet nights and moments to myself. So when I'm home, sometimes I'll light a candle. I'll have like my favorite playlist on. Loving SZA, her album Control will always be on repeat for me. And also, I've been rediscovering my love for Ari Lennox. Her debut album, Shea Butter Baby, I played it out when it first came out, when it debuted, and that has been something I've been on repeat. But overall, just being home, just really nourishing myself and just spending those nights, just reflecting. And even when I'm not doing that, you listen, some nights I'm not always doing that. I'm rewatching Scandal. And I remember watching it in college when it was at its peak. Listen, me and my friends, we do our work. Notice it was Wednesday. Notice it was like 8 o'clock. Literally stop what we're doing, turn on the TV, watch Scandal, watch How to Get Away with Murder, and go right back to doing our work again. Okay. And now that I'm rewatching it again, listen, that show was a hit from the first episode because Kerry Washington and Shonda Rhimes, they did not disappoint. But I'm saying all of this, right? In finding real joy in moments that we probably never would have if I just didn't take that step back. Because I really want to focus on there being balance in my life. And I feel like for a long time, there wasn't balance. And not having balance in a way that I truly needed to. And now I'm definitely there, definitely getting into the thick of knowing when to just be and knowing when to live, right? And I think this podcast, the book club, the Substack, all of those things, they are extensions of my life, but they are not my entire life. And knowing that now, I really want to keep building from that place where I'm still living authentic and experiencing life in a way that is joyful. So, of course, season 7 is not just a number, but it is a statement. And it's me saying that I am still here, I am still evolving, and I'm still choosing to show up even when I don't have all the answers. Because, y'all, I tell you all the time, we are living life for the first time, and I don't have it all figured out. So I really want this season to be something where you can expect more transparency, more joy, and of course, more real time growth because I want Allison's Corner to feel like a soft landing. It's not perfect, but we are real. We are not curated, okay, but we are intentional in what it is that we're doing over here. So, with all of that and where I've just been living, I've been reimagining, and I've just been getting ready for what's next. And I'm so grateful for each of you who listens, reads, shares, and just chooses to grow alongside me. If you are feeling aligned with this new vibe, please make sure you're subscribed, following, and tapped in on all the spaces across the internet with the book club, the YouTube, the Substack, all of it, okay? And as always, this corner of the internet, it is not about being perfect. It is about being lived, okay? So, thank you, as always, for making it feel like home. And as always, I want to leave you with a quote, and it's just very simple. It says, no matter how hard the past is, you can always begin again. Until next time, God bless. Have an amazing day. And thank you for listening to Allison's Corner.